The untimely death of Elvis Presley. On the evening of Tuesday, August 16, 1977, Presley was scheduled to fly out of Memphis to begin another tour. That afternoon, Ginger Alden discovered him in an unresponsive state on a bathroom floor of his Graceland mansion. Attempts to revive him failed, and he was pronounced dead at Baptist Memorial Hospital at 3:30 p.m. He was 42 years old. President Jimmy Carter issued a statement that credited Presley with having permanently changed the face of American popular culture. Thousands of people gathered outside Graceland to view the open casket. One of Presley's cousins, Billy Mann, accepted $18,000 to secretly photograph the body. Picture appeared on the cover of the National Enquirer's biggest-selling issue ever. Alden struck a $105,000 deal with the Enquirer for her story, but settled for less when she broke her exclusivity agreement. Presley left her nothing in his will. Presley's funeral was held at Graceland on Thursday, August 18. Outside the gates, a car plowed into a group of fans, killing 2 young women and critically injuring a third. About 80,000 people lined the processional route to Forest Hill Cemetery, where Presley was buried next to his mother. Within a few weeks, Way Down topped the country and UK singles chart. Following an attempt to steal Presley's body in late August, the remains of both Presley and his mother were exhumed and reburied in Graceland's Meditation Garden on October 2. While an autopsy undertaken the same day Presley died was still in progress, Memphis medical examiner Jerry Francisco announced that the immediate cause of death was cardiac arrest. Asked if drugs were involved, he declared that drugs played no role in Presley's death. In fact, drug use was heavily implicated in Presley's death, writes Gorelnik. The pathologist conducting the autopsy thought it possible, for instance, that he had suffered anaphylactic shock, to which he was known to have had a mild allergy. A pair of lab reports filed 2 months later strongly suggested that polypharmacy was the primary cause of death. One reported 14 drugs in Elvis's system, 10 in significantly quantity. In 1979, forensic pathologist Cyril Wecht conducted a review of the reports and concluded that a combination of central nervous system depressants had resulted in Presley's accidental death. Forensic historian and pathologist Michael Baden viewed the situation as complicated. Elvis had had an enlarged heart for a long time. That, together with his drug habit, caused his death. But he was difficult to diagnose. It was a judgment call. The competence and ethics of 2 of the centrally involved medical professionals were seriously questioned. Francisco had offered a cause of death before the autopsy was complete, claimed that the underlying ailment was cardiac arrhythmia, a condition that can be determined only in someone who is still alive, and denied drugs played in any part in Presley's death before the toxicology results were known. Allegations of a cover-up were widespread, while a 1981 trial of Presley's main physician, George Nichopoulos, exonerated him of criminal liability for his death. The facts were startling. In the first 8 months of 1977 alone, he had prescribed more than 10,000 doses of sedatives, amphetamines, and narcotics, all in Elvis's name. His license was suspended for 3 months. It was permanently revoked in the 1990s after the Tennessee Medical Board brought new charges of overprescription. In 1994, the Presley autopsy report was reopened. Joseph Davis, who had conducted thousands of autopsies as Miami-Dade County coroner, declared at its completion, "There's nothing in any of the data that supports a death from drugs. In fact, everything points to a sudden, violent heart attack." More recent research has revealed that Francisco did not speak for the entire pathology team. Other staff could say nothing with confidence until they got their results back from the laboratories, if then. That would be a matter of weeks. One of the examiners, Eric Mirage, could not believe his ears. Francisco had not only presumed to speak for the hospital's team of pathologists, he had announced a conclusion that they had not reached. Early on, a meticulous dissection of the body confirmed that Elvis was chronically ill with diabetes, glaucoma, and constipation. As they proceeded, the doctors saw evidence that his body had been racked over a span of years by a large and constant stream of drugs. They had also studied his hospital records, which included 2 admissions for drug detoxification and methadone treatments. Writer Frank Coffey thought Presley's death was due to a phenomenon called the Valsalva maneuver, essentially straining on a toilet leading to heart stoppage, plausible because Elvis suffered constipation, a common reaction to drug use. In similar terms, Dan Warlick, who was present at the autopsy, believes Presley's chronic constipation the result of years of prescription drug abuse and high-fat, high-cholesterol gorging brought on what's known as Valsalva's maneuver. Put simply, the strain of attempting to defecate compressed the singer's abdominal aorta, shutting down his heart. However, in 2013, Horace Tennant, who had testified as a defense witness in the Coppolas trial, described his own analysis of Presley's available medical records, concluded that Presley's drug abuse had led to falls, head trauma, and overdoses that damaged his brain, and that his death was due in part to a toxic reaction to codeine, exacerbated by an undetected liver enzyme defect, which can cause sudden cardiac arrhythmia. DNA analysis in 2014 of a hair sample, reported to be Presley's, found evidence of genetic variants that can lead to glaucoma, migraines, and obesity. A crucial variant associated with a heart muscle disease, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, was also identified. Like and follow for more wild stories in rock music.